Hi, welcome guys. So this is our notes for Chapter 7. We'll be looking over the executive branch here, just some of the basic duties of the president, what his powers are, and what his overall role is in the government as far as the leader of this second branch of government that we're looking at. So Section 1 deals with some of the facts and basically what his positions are. There's 6 big jobs for the president. So some of the requirements according to the Constitution in order to be president: you must be born a U.S. citizen. That means born in the country. If you were born in China and then move here, you cannot be president. Even if your parents were born in America and American citizens, if they are living in another country when you are born, unfortunately not able to be president of the United States. There's an age limit, at least 35 years old. The youngest that we've ever seen is 41 with JFK. But 35 being kind of the minimum, at least to set some sort of requirement that you've experienced enough, come with enough wisdom and knowledge to be able to carry out the duties of the president without having some of the immaturities of a younger person, I guess. And then the other thing is that you've lived in the U.S. for at least the last 14 years. So that means you can't, even if you were born in America, you can't move away and then come right back and try to be president. It's almost kind of a vetting process where they make sure that you aren't aligned with some foreign group that could maybe then be trying to influence the American government. Living in America, we have more documentation on you and knowledge as to what you've been doing the last several years, and can follow your experience a little bit more. Now, once elected, the president's going to serve a term of 4 years set by the Constitution. And then if they choose to do so, they can run to be re-elected for a second term for a total of 2 terms, 8 years altogether. As our current president is doing right now, serving on his second term. He's 6 years in, he's got 2 years left to serve still. The president earns a pretty good salary, $400,000 a year. This was just upped not too long ago. Our book actually says that it's $200,000 a year, but it's been increased since our book was produced. Our book's a little bit old. Plus they get expenses up to $119,000 a year to pay staff and basic services and things. But when you think about it, the person that's running the country, the most important role in our entire country, earning only $400,000 really isn't that much compared to, say, LeBron James, who's making over $20 million a year, well more than that with all of his endorsements and things just for playing basketball. Okay, so the job of the president, tons of responsibility, really good pay. $400,000 is a lot of money, but not significant compared to many business leaders and athletes and such. And as you can see here, lives in the White House. Okay, provided for him, as well as the staff that is there provided for him. He gets to enjoy some of the benefits of that. It's 130 rooms and offices in there. It's really big. What you see from the front like that in pictures normally only shows a small portion of what the White House actually is. With the position, you also get all the president's planes, boats, airplanes, Air Force One, helicopters, all that, as well as a vacation area called Camp David that's in the mountains of Washington. Near Washington, D.C. Okay, so the 6 big jobs of the president. We'll try to cover these quickly. So first of all, he's the chief executive. That means he's the one that carries out the laws. That's how we describe the branch. He chooses the people that he wants to help him run the government, which people can give him advice as far as what kind of laws he should be supporting, what kind of policies he should be enacting or programs that would be good to help the country. Plans the nation's budget, which is over $1 trillion a year. Okay, not a million, not a billion, but $1 trillion a year that his branch is responsible for. And he is the boss of over 3 million government workers in the country. Okay, so he's got a lot of people and a lot of money underneath him that's being carried out. Okay, the second one is as the chief of state. This is kind of Obama as the face of the country, right? Meeting with visitors that are coming from other countries, giving speeches to the nation, attending ceremonies, being on TV during big celebrations, just kind of being a positive influence and a calming face that we can look to and identify with. Okay, so this one isn't a lot of huge responsibilities, but it is kind of pressure on him to be somebody that people look at as a person that they like, as well as that they can trust. All right, chief diplomat is going to be the president setting our foreign policy. Diplomat has has to do with working with other countries and other leaders. So he sets the plan as far as how do we deal with these other groups? What's our action as far as who do we become friends with and develop treaties with? And who are we really going to be going against? Who's our adversaries? Sets peace agreements that Congress can choose to agree with and pass as well. Chooses our ambassadors. That's the people that we actually send to live in other countries that represent him there. So there will be an ambassador in India, an ambassador in Russia that can speak to their government and their leaders, and the leaders of that nation can talk to the ambassador, who then touches back with Obama and the rest of the American government. Okay, so that's an important role, choosing the right people to serve in those locations. Oh, sorry, one more little thing at the bottom there that I cut out. Just represent the U.S. and other countries. All right, another big one, Commander-in-Chief. He is considered the leader of the armed forces. So all four branches, with the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, as well as the National Guard. He's in charge of the budget for them, what kind of actions they should be carrying out, and how they should be used. Okay, so sometimes the president is somebody that has served in the armed forces. Obama has not. So he needs to really take a lot of advice from people underneath him, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, that can give him information and advice as far as how to use the armed forces and what would be the most effective strategies to use them safely in the world. As a president, he can send the forces anywhere in the world at any time as kind of a defense mechanism, but he can't declare war. Remember, that's the power of Congress. So he can send them to places as a peacekeeping or as sort of a diplomatic approach, but as far as actually declaring war and using them in a aggressive manner is going to have to be approved by Congress. All right, as the chief lawmaker, our fifth job, that's him having the final vote on any laws. Remember, laws are passed by Congress, but the power holds the veto power, the ability to say no to any law. And short of a 2/3 vote in Congress, then he's really the final say. He has the ability to propose laws to Congress. He's often giving them ideas as far as what he would like to see happen, and then he'll choose a representative or a senator to endorse it and write it up for him. Every year he has to go and give a speech to Congress. It's known as the State of the Union Address. It's a pretty long speech. That's his plan for government and explains his goals for the country for the year. And often at these times you'll see a pretty big split when he says things that really support his party. So in Obama's case, the Democratic Party, they'll all stand up and cheer for him while the Republicans stay there silently, not clapping for him, and it gets to be a pretty comical experience. Oh, all right, and then 6, he's obviously the leader of his party. So whichever party he's coming from, he's kind of setting the tone for what their beliefs are and what they're going to be able to carry out in Congress. His party really needs to get behind him and support him in order to continue to get things done. He can spend time then trying to help members of his party get elected and traveling around the country speaking for them, supporting them, and just overall trying to enhance and advance his party's power and influence within the country. All right, so that's the end of section 1 here, the big jobs of the president. Make sure you get your notes filled out, pause, rewind if you need to, and take the 5-question quiz that goes along with this one. All right, see you next time, guys. Thanks.